Officially, namaste and welcome to all of you in this series, The Other Side of Death. So people are still joining in. Meanwhile, I want you to use the chat box because this is going to be a long journey and we want to answer all your questions connected to the subject. So why don't you write what are your curiosities about death and life after death, which you have not yet understood. Maybe you have heard it, but you have not understood. Maybe you need more clarity about the subject. So I have been on this journey. Some of you may know me. I am into pranic healing school for the last 15 years. And I have been a constant reader. I like reading. And luckily, through master's teachings and through the recommended teachings, I came across a lot of literature, which actually has helped me improve my understanding about the subject of death and life after death. So along with other subjects like other teachings like about the soul, this has always been a subject of interest for me, and I've tried to collect and gather as much as information as possible. And through this program, through this series, it is my sole purpose that every human being, every person who come across this course will be able to, educate themselves about the reality of this subject or the truth about this truth. Because इसके आसपास जो है बहुत सारे myths हैं. There are a lot of confusions, especially when there is comparative religious, discussions which happen on death and preparation for death, the purpose of death, life after death, and so on and so on. So if you see, there are a lot of confusions sometimes, and sometimes there are misinterpretations. जो भी religious teachings है उसके जो versions होते हैं, जो different scholars या philosophers ने लिखे हैं, sometimes it is our own misinterpretation. Yeah, maybe we are interpreting some of the teachings literally. That is why there's a lot of darkness, we can say, or a lot of veil around this subject. Definitely, if you have done the soul realization workshop by GMCK's Grandmaster Chokok Sui, who is the founder of modern pranic healing, there is a lot of clarity. But that particular course is designed to make it very, very simplified, so that, even any layman can study it. So that is a good beginning of the subject, but there is more to it. There are like at least 4 or 5 books I came across, which gives a lot of, definitely the teacher has recommended these books. The books or the content which I am going to bring to you has been a recommendation of my teacher, Grandmaster Chokok Sri. So there's nothing which I'm going to share is beyond the scope of what the teacher has given, and he being extremely learned and extremely very well read. And so what he did was he collected and corroborated the most essential information on the subject of soul, subject of spirituality, and life after death. And he concentrated more on sharing techniques and practices. Because if you go through the study from Theosophy and let's say some other schools, not many schools provide you with the technology part of certain practices in yoga and meditation and so on. But in pranic healing teachings, like if you're a pranic healer, you know that the practices, the teachings are mainly focused on implementation. So immediately after you learn something, you can implement it. That's the beauty of pranic healing teachings, no doubt about it. So, but then sometimes the theoretical part seems to be, let's say, It's like it's an initiating process. It's like the beginning, but you need more information. So that's why Master Chokoksui also gave, my teacher gave, different recommended books from the teachings he himself has read through, like the teachings of Theosophy, teachings of Astara, and other schools, especially which he recognized to be more objective and truthful, which is fact based, which is not just assumption of somebody or hypothesis, but rather it is reality. So ये जो स्टडी सीरीज है, लाइफ द अदर साइड ऑफ डेथ, इसका मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? ऐसे मिथ्स को डीमिस्टिफाई करना जो हमारे परसेप्शन पे चढ़े हुए हैं रिगार्डिंग व्हाट इज लाइफ, व्हाट इज डेथ, व्हाट इज लाइफ आफ्टर डेथ, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो ऑन. सो दैट इज द गोल ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम. एंड ऑब्वियसली ये जर्नी में बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स एंड लेसन्स हम लोग सीखने वाले हैं. सो विदाउट डिलेइंग फर्दर, लेट अस बिगिन दिस सेशन with a prayer, एक छोटा सा prayer, universal prayer, because I assume there might be some people who have not done pranic healing. Anyone here who has not taken pranic healing? Maybe you have joined through somebody's recommendation, or all of you are pranic healers. Can I see raise of hands if you have not done any pranic healing course? Okay, one or two people, three. Okay, three. It doesn't matter, क्योंकि ये जो स्टडी सीरीज है ये आपको एकदम बिगनर लेवल से ही हम शुरुआत करेंगे. बट इट इज माई वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग रिकमेंडेशन टू ऑल ऑफ यू दैट इफ इस स्टडी ग्रुप से आपको कुछ हेल्प मिलती है टू गेट सम आंसर्स अबाउट your purpose of life and about death, I would strongly recommend you to take pranic healing courses. Because as I said, I will be able to give you clarity on the subject, but the practical teachings are also important कि जो चीजें हमें फॉलो करनी चाहिए in terms of having the experience of the subject. So here you will get some experience. I'm not saying that it is all theory. ये जो study series हम लोग आज से शुरू कर रहे हैं, but there will be some practices also. But if you really want to have something for lifelong and practical teachings, then definitely pranic healing courses आपने सीखना चाहिए. Wherever you live, there are many centers across India, so you can get in touch with the trainers there. So let's begin. Close your eyes. Just relax your body. Relax your mind, relax your emotions. Be aware of your breath. And think of God as a universal pervading energy which permeates everything. ईश्वर को एक ऐसी ऊर्जा के रूप में सोचिए जो हर कण में बसी है, which pervades and permeates all living beings. And silently say to the Supreme God or the universal Supreme Being or the Parabrahman, to all the great spiritual teachers of all great religions, avatars, prophets, messiahs, all the gurus, all the teachers, avatars, archangels, holy angels, invisible helpers, we humbly thank you for your priceless blessings. We thank you for your guidance, help, and protection. We thank you for greater understanding of the subject of death and life after death and its importance. We thank you for being with us, journeying with us in helping us have better understanding of this subject. Thank you for the blessings of intuition, inner guidance. being able to deeply assimilate the knowledge and be able to use it in everyday life and living, may be able to dispel the darkness from our mind about this subject matter through your blessings, with thanks and in full faith, especially to my teacher, Master Chokok Sui, to his teacher, Bodhisattva Meiling. We thank you. To all the teachers of Theosophy, teachers of Astara, we thank you. Slowly open your eyes with a big, big smile. All right, so let me quickly turn on my presentation. Generally, it is my comfortable way of presenting or taking a session is, as the guidance comes. But sometimes it is also important to have some presentation from the, audience perspective. So I've just created a very simple presentation for that purpose. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay, just give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen. Yeah? Okay, thank you. Now, if you stay, this is my challenge or this is my guarantee to you. If you can stay till the end of this study group, which may take us a few weeks, because this is not like a small book discussion. We will take the study. ये जो study है इसको हम लोग अलग अलग perspective से अलग अलग teachings के, especially religious teaching के comparison से भी लेके जाएंगे, because what you know already, वहां से हम इसकी शुरुआत करेंगे. आप जो जानते हैं, जिसमें कई सारी चीजें फैक्ट्स भी हो सकती है, कई सारी चीजें मिथ्स भी हो सकती हैं, तो वहां से शुरुआत करके देन वी विल गो टुवर्ड्स what the truth really is, and then how can you experience the truth, because something is not something is just knowledge. जब तक कि आप उसको अनुभव में नहीं लाते हैं, then till then it is not an experience. So experience makes it your own wisdom, right? So the truth that will change your outlook towards life, your life will completely transform, completely change, अगर आप ये बुक स्टडी के एंड तक रहते हैं. Not today, till the end of the session. So let's go to the table of content. So I've just made a rough table of content. Don't take it literally. There may be some new additions as we move forward. Like, सबसे main question क्या होता है? Is that fear of death, the silent cause of all life troubles. We don't realize this, but fear is a motivation of a lot of evil in the world. So, और उसमें सबसे बड़ा जो fear है हमारा, that is the fear of death. क्योंकि ये एक सब्जेक्ट है जिसके बारे में ठीक से हमें या तो जानकारी नहीं है या हमने कभी इंटरेस्ट नहीं लिया. ओके, सो देन वी विल ब्रेक सम मिथ्स, बोथ रिलीजियस एंड पर्सनल. जो हमने अभी तक सुनी हुई बातें हैं डेथ के आसपास में, उसमें कितना फैक्ट है, कितना ट्रुथ है, कितनी रियलिटी है, कितना लाई है, वो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. देन विल टॉक अबाउट एस्ट्रल ट्रैवलिंग, dreams and its interpretation. Just quickly going through the table of contents. The secret of continuous life and immortality. कई लोग बोलते हैं कि जीवन अमर है, but still you see people dying. Then what is the meaning of deathless life, or what is the meaning of immortality? And is it really possible to keep a body? So there are stories of saints who have lived for 2000 years, 5000 years. We will discuss life of some of the saints जहाँ पे they are able to keep their bodies intact for hundreds of years. So what is the secret of that, and how can somebody become immortal? Then about heavens, हम लोग बोलते हैं स्वर्ग होता है, there is no death. And then actually in this topic there is no death. We will discuss and we will realize that death exist ही नहीं करता है. It is just like, it's an illusion, though it's a reality, but then it is also illusion. It's a process. And then we'll talk about hell and purgatory, state of being or real place. कई लोग बोलते हैं कि hell real में होता है, कई लोग बोलते हैं no, it is just your state of mind. So what it is really? क्या ये स्टेट ऑफ माइंड है? क्या ये रेस रियल में हेल कहीं प्लेस है? इज इट, कैन यू लोकेट इट विद गूगल और जीपीएस? जीपीएस से लोकेट कर सकते हैं, कैन यू गो देयर फिजिकली? सो सच क्वेश्चंस कम इन माइंड, नो? सो इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ, these are just few of the questions we will discuss, but if you have more questions, I would really love to take feedback from you, and then we will address those questions in this subject also. Then death as a gift to humanity, why death is a gift, we will discuss. Then ghost and spirits, कई लोगों का curiosity ghost and spirits के ऊपर में होता है, तो उस पे we will have one session. Then the dead never depart, you know, whom we think as dead are never gone anywhere. तो वो कहाँ जाते हैं? Where they are they around us, are they above us, below us, where are they, and how can you contact them? So these are some of the mysteries we will be talking about. And what is our true home, and where do we stand in this cosmos? इस पूरे क्रिएशन में हम कहाँ स्टैंड करते हैं? Who we really are? तो ये सारे क्वेश्चंस जो हैं हम लोग धीरे धीरे करके इस सीरीज के थ्रू एड्रेस करेंगे. नाउ डू यू थिंक दिस सब्जेक्ट इज इंटरेस्टिंग? बट मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली, इज इट इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर एवरीवन टू नो, irrespective of who you are, which religion you follow? We are going to die, right? One day. It's better to know about it. So let's officially start the session. Just look at the chat box quickly if you have any questions. Okay, so there are some questions like, when does death occur? Is it after all of our karma is worked? Is it after all of our karma is wiped out? Can the departed soul see, hear us at all times? Good question. Who is the writer of this book? Which book? Yes, somebody asked, is this the first time? This is the first day, first session. दो आज इसके पहले मैंने डीमिस्टिफाइंग डेथ करके एक सीरीज ली थी, बट दैट वाज long ago, and I thought, why not refresh, because even my knowledge with time has also upgraded over the last 4-5 years. So I decided to re-record and restart the whole series. All right, so fear of death, the silent cause of all life troubles. हमने देखा है that you know, the way we all live, if you see, कई लोग जो हैं they live a selfish life. Some people, they always want to preserve and secure themselves, secure, you know what I'm saying, they want to secure their relationship, they want to secure their prosperity, their money, their job and everything, and they want to hold on to a lot of things. So कई बार हम जिस तरह का जीवन जीते हैं या जिस तरह का लाइफ जीते हैं, उसके पीछे एक सिंपल रीजन यही है दैट हमारे मन में कुछ परसेप्शंस है लाइफ को लेके, डेथ को लेके, आफ्टर लाइफ को लेके. फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर आर क्वेश्चंस लाइक, देयर इज नो लाइफ आफ्टर डेथ. डेथ जहाँ हो गया वहां पे सब खत्म. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव हर्ड दिस? द मोमेंट यू डाई, एवरीथिंग इज फिनिश्ड. Very common, thing we have heard, especially in certain religions. They say that there is annihilation. It means your soul, even जैसे कि दिया बुझता है, even your soul gets blown off or annihilated the moment you die. So you become non-existent. Again, that is another myth we have heard. Then there is this myth called, there is hellfire, कि आग में जलते हैं. Have you not heard that? After that, in some cultures they say that जलती हुई कढ़ाई में, you आपको डाला जाता है, and then you are tortured by the demons, and so on and so on. So what is the reality of these things? इन सबके पीछे काश में के कोई facts है भी या नहीं? So that's what we will discuss gradually. So the basic cause of all the sufferings in the world is ignorance, and ignorance creates fear within us, and fear leads to certain actions जो भी हम लोग करते हैं. We tend to lead a selfish life. We don't want to live for others. We just want to live for ourselves. और वो चीजें धीरे धीरे, वो root cause after root cause, it creates a mess around us. So like Buddha, Lord Buddha in his teachings, he says, the cause of all the suffering in the world is ignorance. That is one. Second, he says, another cause is the expectation that nothing will change. जिंदगी में कभी कुछ बदलना नहीं चाहिए, ये एक एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको कोई चीज अच्छी लगी, यू वांट टू हैव दैट एक्सपीरियंस ओवर एंड ओवर अगेन, बट समटाइम इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. ट्रू और नॉट ट्रू? सो if you read the teachings of Lord Buddha, you will see that he has already given this thing that the cause of suffering is the unrealistic expectation that life will remain. जब जो जैसा चल रहा है वैसे ही चलेगा, हम हमेशा जवान रहेंगे, या आप वैसे ही ब्यूटीफुल दिखेंगे. बट द रियलिटी इज लाइफ इज गवर्न्ड बाय चेंजेस. लाइफ इज गवर्न्ड बाय कांस्टेंट चेंज. दैट इज द ओनली ट्रुथ. सो हमेशा हर चीज बदलती रहेगी, इंक्लूडिंग योर बॉडी, इंक्लूडिंग योर वर्ड्स, इंक्लूडिंग योर थॉट्स, इंक्लूडिंग योर एक्शंस, इंक्लूडिंग एवरीथिंग. द पीपल अराउंड यू, उनका बिहेवियर, the place you live. आज आप जहाँ रह रहे हैं, if you look 20 years ago, is it the same or is it changed? Right? Even if you live in a metro city, आज से 20 साल पहले जो मेगा सिटीज थे, या 30 years पहले कैसे थे? The technology used is constantly changing. The lifestyle is the same, like, unless it is antique, is the same sofa set, or is the same bed, or is the same gas stove you are using, which you used 20 years ago. You're changing it every 5 years. So even though change आपके बिल्कुल सामने है, अगर आप ध्यान दें, every day you are changing, every day things around you are changing. But sometimes we don't accept it. Yeah, we don't try to see it. So we live in the world of changes. We live in a world of constant creation and destruction. Are you able to understand this? So death is another way of showing you that there is going to be a change. This change will take you from one form to another form. So there are minor changes in life. This is called law of change. There are major changes. Major change मतलब change of your own form. For example, water जो है, पानी जो है, जब उसको आप फ्रीज करते हैं तो वो सॉलिड फॉर्म में होता है. द मोमेंट आप उसको हीट करते हैं, इट बिकम्स लिक्विड. देन आप उसको बॉईल करते हैं फर्दर, इट बिकम्स गैशियस. ट्रू और नॉट ट्रू? बट if you take steam, listen carefully, this is a very important point. If you take some steam, you condense the steam, what will happen? Will it become water again? Yes or no? And if you take water and you condense it further, you freeze it, what will happen? It will become solid again. That is the nature of life. So the soul, think of the soul as the vapor, or as the gas, as for example, which condenses for a particular period of time to form a human being. But then after a point, through the heat of life, through the experiences of life, it has to again, shift its form. It has to evaporate. Then so that it can again, it's like वो, like school में पढ़ा था ना आपने, this is water cycle. Have you remember the water cycle? The water goes up and in the clouds, then the clouds are formed. When the cloud condenses, then again there is rain. So the soul का भी cycle वैसा ही है. So life is the essence is life is a constant change. Death is part of it. Death is simply another transformation. We should use the word transformation, so that you can again come back and fulfill your duties. It's like जब आपकी कोई भी चीज एक्सपायर्ड हो जाती है, तो आप क्या करते? यू डोंट कीप इट, यू जस्ट थ्रो इट अवे. So the soul is the keeper of the body, and when the body dies, it is no longer. I mean, it becomes sick. या बॉडी डिस्कार्ड करने लायक हो जाती है, एक्सपायरी डेट पे पहुंच जाती है, द सोल डिस्कार्ड्स इट एंड देन मेक्स अ न्यू बॉडी फॉर इटसेल्फ. एज सिंपल एज दैट. सो व्हाई दिस स्टडी इज इंपॉर्टेंट? एज आई सेड कि हमारे लाइफ में, if I ask all of you, let me ask this question: how many of you have fear of death? Can I see a few raise of hands? Honestly, share your perspective, share your honest feedback. कल अगर आपकी डेथ आई, आर यू रेडी फॉर इट? वाई? बिकॉज हमारे माइंड में बहुत सारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं अभी भी, लाइफ को लेके, चीजों को लेके, जो अभी तक पूरी नहीं हुई हैं. एंड ऑल्सो डेथ को लेके भी बहुत सारे कंफ्यूजन्स है कि why I've chosen this study is, one of the reason is recently I lost my father. I mean, it's just a month ago, and उनका जो passing था, I have seen the last 4 5 hours in front of me. Every single moment of that, I have seen it. I have seen the process of how the soul leaves the body, and I have followed him in the inner world as well. What I mean is, uh, through my spiritual practices in the last maybe 2 3 years, I'm able to remember my dreams. And not just my father, I've seen my grandfather, grandmother who have gone, who have passed away, and I see them, I meet them every single day in the inner world. I remember my dreams. So I've seen him passing and I've seen him in the inner world. This itself is a proof from my own personal experience that we never die. But anyway, so one of the most important point is that we all have fear of death. तो इस फियर को के चलते हम हमारे बहुत सारे एक्शंस जो है वो लेते हैं. वी ट्राई टू प्रोलॉन्ग द बॉडी. कई बार कोई व्यक्ति बीमार होता है, बहुत सीवियरली इल होता है, वी डोंट वांट टू लेट देम टू गो. तो उसके चलते हम वी ट्राई एवरी पॉसिबल ट्रीटमेंट. हम लोग बहुत सारे केमिकल्स बॉडी में या टैबलेट्स, मेडिसिन उनको देते हैं, just to stretch another few days of their life, because we fear we lose them. Imagine if you just know this reality that death doesn't take away anything from you. Your loved ones are there. वो यहीं हैं, वो कहीं नहीं गए. They are just there. It's just the real problem is lack of vision or lack of spiritual training. So ये जो प्रोग्राम है, इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है आपको टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स प्रोवाइड करना, नॉलेज प्रोवाइड करना, which can help you realize the true spiritual nature of yourself and the real nature of life. अभी हम जो है लाइफ के बारे में बहुत कम जानते हैं. We know it's like hardly 1%. So fear of death is something we will work on. We will not only discuss about it. I will share with you a technique in the future sessions where you can actually get rid of your fear of death completely. You will wait for your death. You will enjoy. The moment you think of death, you will smile. It's a guarantee, as long as you practice that technique. Now, let's move ahead. So let's talk quickly. In order to understand life and death, we need to first understand the nature of man, or the nature of the human being. Yeah. When you say yourself as a human or a man, who you really are. By the way, the word man comes from the word manas. Manas, or man, the word man means mind born. It doesn't have, it has nothing to do with gender. Dare I say something? You are both man and woman in a way. We are all man and woman, but in reality, the word man means mind born. So ये term जो है, it's a very esoteric term to understand. ये term, like for example, एनिमल्स में आप मैन एंड वुमन ये टर्म यूज नहीं करते हैं. डू यू यूज दिस इज अ मैन कैट, दिस इज अ वुमन डॉग? यू डोंट यूज, राइट? Or for cats and so on. Man word comes from the word mind, and we are all mind born sons of God. It has something to do that about the truth that we are all this. We all are the souls. हम सब soul हैं, हम सब आत्मा हैं. I getting the point? So as a soul, आपका एक anatomy है. So we'll just quickly go through this picture, and because so आपके हम सब के basically there are 7 bodies, 7 शरीर हैं. You don't just have one body, one form. So ये 7 शरीर या 7 koshas. In different religion they are known by different words like kosha, sharir, and then what do you call as vahan. Vahan is another term for body used in some of the teachings. Vahan. What else? So vahan, sharir, body, all these terms lead to the fact कि हमारे एक नहीं कई शरीर है. So first is the physical, visible physical body which you can see. Then there are subtler bodies. ये subtler bodies को invisible body भी कहा जाता है. Invisible doesn't mean कि non-existent. Invisible का मतलब होता है कि वो आंखों से देखी नहीं जा सकती, उनके vibrations बहुत subtle है. जैसे in pranic healing we talk about energy body. So energy body is another form. It is the subtler form after the physical body. Physical body के बाद energy body आता है. Then there is astral body. Astral body को हम body of desires या emotions बोलते हैं, जहां आपके emotions बसते हैं. Then there is mental body. या आपका mind, जहां पे आप आपके विचार कोई भी चीज का विचार कर पाते हैं, कोई भी डिस्कशंस या कुछ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स कर पाते हैं, कोई डिसीजंस ले पाते हैं. So all this faculty comes from the mind. Then mind is also divided into 2 parts, lower mind and the higher mind. So ये सब जो है ये आपकी different bodies हैं. Now according to the teachings जो हम आपके साथ share कर रहे हैं, according to theosophy and according to the teachings of Astara, समझिए कि अगर कल जाके आपका clairvoyance develop हो जाए तो आपको एक नहीं 7 अलग अलग साइज के बॉडीज एक जैसे दिखेंगे. समझिए कि अंदर में, सबसे अंदर में एक फिजिकल फॉर्म दिखेगा, उसके जस्ट ऊपर एक एस्ट्रल फॉर्म बिल्कुल बॉडी के शेप का ही दिखेगा, उसके ऊपर में मेंटल फॉर्म बॉडी के शेप का दिखेगा, फिर उसके ऊपर में. सो बेसिकली आपके 7 रेप्लिका हैं, ऐसा बोल सकते हैं, टू मेक यू इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड. और ये जो रेप्लिकाज है, ये जो डिफरेंट बॉडीज है, इनके अलग अलग फंक्शंस है. यानी 7. इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल बताओ जस्ट टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड. हैव यू सीन रशियन डॉल इन द स्कूल टाइम? रशियन डॉल नहीं देखा है? वो ऐसा है, कितना बड़ा डॉल रहता है, उसको ओपन करे तो उसके अंदर एक छोटा डॉल निकलता है. देन यू ओपन इट, देन देयर इज अ स्मॉलर डॉल. जस्ट टाइप फॉर रशियन डॉल इन गूगल, सो यू विल सी इट. सो उसको आप ओपन करेंगे, देन देयर इज अनदर डॉल. So they are one inside each other. So something like that. So the soul is sevenfold. So bodies, आपके 7 bodies है जिसके अपने अपने functions है. अभी तक हमारी जो consciousness develop हुई है इतने हजारों सालों में, उसमें हमने सिर्फ physical body पे कुछ हद तक control हासिल किया है. इसके आगे अभी अभी हम अपने इमोशंस पे थोड़ा थोड़ा काम कर रहे हैं, बट फिर भी इमोशंस देयर लाइक हेवायर, सब इधर उधर है. कई बार इमोशंस आपको काबू कर लेते हैं, दे कंट्रोल यू. सिमिलरली हमारा जो माइंड है वो भी अभी हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, कभी इधर भागता है, कभी उधर भागता है. सो ये सारी बॉडीज जो है अपने आप में, इनकी चेतना है, इनकी कॉन्शियसनेस है. एंड जब तक आप खुद को नहीं जानते हैं, जब तक आप ये बात का एहसास नहीं होता है कि आप इन सबके मालक है, यू आर द ओनर ऑफ दिस बॉडीज आर केपेबल ऑफ कंट्रोलिंग यू. डिड आई से समथिंग? जब तक आप ये रियलाइज नहीं करते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव, लेट्स से यू हैव मल्टीपल हॉर्सेस एंड यू आर द ओनर ऑफ अ स्टेबल जहाँ पे बहुत सारे घोड़े हैं। जब तक आप ये रियलाइज नहीं करते हैं कि ये घोड़े आप नहीं हैं और ये आपके लिए काम कर रहे हैं, द हॉर्सेस विल बी हॉर्सेस, वो इधर उधर भटकेंगे, भागेंगे, आपको जाके पकड़ के लाना पड़ेगा। अनलेस व्हाट यू डू इज यू टाई देम टुगेदर into a cart so that they can pull a cart. So life is like that, जहाँ पे हम अपने डिफरेंट बॉडीज को अपने पूरे लाइफ में बैलेंस करने की कोशिश करते रहते हैं। कभी एक बॉडी नाराज होती है, कभी दूसरा बॉडी इम्बैलेंस होती है, कभी भूख लगती है, कभी फिजिकल बॉडी बीमार होती है, कभी मेंटली आप स्ट्रेस में आ जाते हैं, कभी इमोशनली डिप्रेस हो जाते हैं। सो ऑल दिस बॉडीज रिक्वायर यू टू कंट्रोल देम बिकॉज दे आर लाइक स्मॉल किड्स या स्मॉल पेट्स जो अपने आप से ट्रेन नहीं होते हैं। सो यू नीड टू ट्रेन देम। बट सो स्पिरिचुअल पाथ या स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी जो होती है इज ऑल अबाउट ब्रिंगिंग दिस बॉडीज टुगेदर फर्स्ट एंड देन स्टडिंग देम, अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि उनके फंक्शंस क्या है, एंड देन ट्रेनिंग देम, डेवलपिंग देम। जैसे जिम जाने से पहले आपका बॉडी जो रहता है, इट इज नॉट, द मसल्स आर नॉट डेवलप, बट इफ यू गो टू जिम 6 months यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड, वाओ यू हैव सो मेनी मसल्स जो ग्रो हुए हैं, डेवलप हुए हैं। सो एवरी बॉडी जो आपकी होती है, लाइक लेट्स से फिजिकल, इमोशनल, मेंटल बॉडी, इनके फंक्शंस को जानना इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इन दिस स्टडी, आई मीन इन द स्टडी ऑफ लाइफ। देन उसके फंक्शंस को समझना और उनको कैसे कंट्रोल किया जाए। वंस यू आर एबल टू डू दैट, then you can consciously function in those bodies. So let's say for example astral traveling is nothing but being able to consciously utilize your emotional body। हमारी जो सूक्ष्म शरीर है उनको इस्तेमाल करके आप इनर वर्ल्ड में ट्रैवल कर सकते हैं। सो हाउ कैन यू डू दैट? फर्स्ट बाय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट, knowing and understanding the subject, then how do you do it? So the practice part. So even the subject of death, there is a process of natural dying. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you want to die naturally, peacefully? How many of you want to take samadhi? You know what is samadhi? Samadhi is a process where you willingly leave the body when you think your life's purpose is over. In meditation, that is samadhi. Amazing, no? So who would like that? Some of you have raised your hand. So what about others? You don't want to know the secret how to do it? You want to die out of old age or disease? So in this series, in this study group, we will also discuss methods and processes जिससे कि आप प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं फॉर नेचुरल डेथ। देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड डेस्टिनी बाय द वे, जहाँ पे ऑब्वियसली हमारे कर्मों के हिसाब से कैसे आपकी मृत्यु होगी वो चीज तय होती है। बट इट इज सेड दैट डेथ इज इट्स लाइक द फ्यूचर is not permanent. It is not static but dynamic, so it can be changed. So future को बदला जा सकता है. Even you can decide the day and the time of your death if you know the way. That is how the saints do. So in pranic healing, for example, our teacher, Grandmaster Chokoksui, he knew his time of death at least 20 years back. I mean, so in 1997, somewhere in 97, he told one of his students the day and the time of his death. So there are people like this. So what is the difference between them and us? उनमें और हमें क्या फर्क है? यही फर्क है that we, you know, they have known way ahead of us this science, this knowledge, and they have trained themselves. It is just like going to school. अगर आज आपके पास कुछ जानकारी नहीं है, इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, you get the information, you know the practice, you do the practice, you get the results. As simple as that. So dying is also a science. The process of death and preparing for life after death. Have you heard of the term life after death? You have not heard? Because there is life after death. That is why that word is coined. If there was no life after death, ये word exist ही नहीं करता था. It would have been just death. True or not true? So how do you prepare for that? और क्या वहां पे भी आप ऐसे ही फ्रीडम से जी सकते हैं जैसे आप अर्थ में जीते हैं? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यहाँ वी कैन डू एज मच एज मनमानी एज पॉसिबल. जब मूड हुआ, जब जो करना है वो कर सकते हैं. इफ यू हैव मनी, इफ यू हैव पावर, यू कैन बाय एनीथिंग, यू कैन बाय पीपल, यू कैन बाय positions and so on and so on. Do you think the inner world में भी same laws apply होते हैं? So अगर नहीं होते हैं, then वहां कौन से laws apply? यहाँ पे क्रिमिनल जस्टिस से लोग बच जाते हैं if they have power, if they have resources, if they have money. What about in the inner world? Is it the same? That's why कई बार कई systems में बोलते हैं that judgment day पे they check how much of worth you have, how much of treasures do you have. So my question is, डेथ के समय पे जिन ट्रेजर्स की बात होती है, क्या वो मटेरियल ट्रेजर्स होते हैं या अर्थली ट्रेजर्स होते हैं? जैसे कि फिल्मों में कई बार दिखाते हैं, या इजिप्शियन कल्चर में आपने देखा होगा कि व्हेन पीपल डाई दे पुट ऑल देयर ज्वेलरी, गोल्ड एंड अ लॉट ऑफ ऑर्नामेंट्स, ताकि जब वो दे मीट द पर्सन जो उनको जज करेगा, दे कैन गिव ऑल दिस ब्राइब सो दैट उनको हेवेंस में जाने मिले. Have you seen such movies? जहाँ पे they show that I've seen some of the movies where there's like a weighing scale, और वो पर्सन जो है अपने डेथ के बाद में अपना सारा ज्वेलरी ला के रखता है, एंड देन जो गरीब आदमी होता है उसको हेल में भेज देते हैं बिकॉज ही हैज नथिंग. इन अ वे इट इज ट्रू, इन अ वे इट इज नॉट ट्रू. इसमें देयर आर मिथ्स हिडन एंड देयर आर ट्रुथ्स हिडन. सो ऐसे एलिगरीज जो हैं, इन चीजों को क्या बोलते हैं इन रिलीजियस टेक्स्ट को? एलेगरी. एलेगरी मतलब जो चीजें आपको दिखती या समझती है उनका इस्तेमाल करके कुछ पहेलियां बनाई जाती है या कुछ रहस्य बनाए जाते हैं, जो तभी आपको समझ में आएंगे जब आप उसके लिए रेडी हैं. तो देखने में ऐसा लगता है कि अरे अमीर आदमी जो है वो स्वर्ग में जाएगा. बट देन व्हाई डिड लॉर्ड जीसस सेड दैट इट इज बेटर दैट अ कैमल पास थ्रू द आई ऑफ द नीडल देन अ रिच मैन. एक अमीर आदमी से अच्छा है कि एक बहुत बड़ा कैमल छोटे से सुई के धागे में से निकल जाएगा in order to enter heaven. So then why he said that? And what does it mean about, I mean, spiritual world में richness और poverty क्या है? अर्थ में तो हमको पता है, if you have cash in your bank, you're rich, right? Or there are other forms of richness. What do you think? Is it just money richness, or is there spiritual richness also? Is there spiritual prosperity or only material prosperity? We have in pranic healing we say no, right? May God bless me with material, financial, and spiritual prosperity. Then what is spiritual prosperity? So we'll discuss that. So anyway, the purpose, I've just written some points here. आपने शायद पढ़ भी लिया होगा. I'm just explaining you this. Some facts. I want you to just think about this. That the knowledge of the self to man is not even 2% about itself. 2% भी हम अपने बारे में नहीं जानते. There is 98% of yourself that you need to know and experience. Second, man is cosmos in miniature. इंसान जो है अपने आप में एक ब्रह्मांड है. ये कहावत नहीं है, दिस इज नॉट थियरी, दिस इज रियलिटी. Then man is a cosmic seed for future universe. What does it mean? जो सोल है या जो आत्मा है वो अपने आप में एक बीज है आने वाले ब्रह्मांड का या आने वाले यूनिवर्स का, जो धीरे धीरे एक्सपैंड हो रहा है, ग्रो हो रहा है. एवरी पार्ट, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स, दिस इज लाइक, ये पॉइंटर्स पे आप अगर मेडिटेट करेंगे ना, योर कॉन्शियसनेस विल एक्सपैंड. एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स एग्जिस्ट्स विद इन यू. यूनिवर्स का ऐसा कोई भी पॉइंट नहीं है, ऐसी कोई भी ऊर्जा नहीं है जो किसी भी कोने में, किसी भी गैलेक्सी में, किसी भी प्लैनेट पे होगी और आप में नहीं. एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्स एग्जिस्ट विद इन यू. व्हाट डज इट मीन? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द गोल ऑफ लाइफ इज अनफोल्डमेंट ऑफ द वेरियस सीड potentials within the human in his her journey to become superhuman. यहां से आज आप जहां हैं, where you stand, the next journey or the journey is from becoming human to superhuman. Have you seen the movies jahan pe there are shown people with superhuman powers, like Marvels की movies होती है, then DC, या फिर you have seen some of the टीवी शोज जहाँ पे गॉड्स एंड गॉडेसेस को दिखाते हैं, देन यू समटाइम वंडर, काश हमारे पास भी ये पावर होती. हैव नॉट हर्ड थॉट ऑफ दैट, कि काश मेरे पास भी ऐसी उड़ने की पावर होती, टेलीपोर्टेशन की पावर होती, किसी भी चीज को भस्म करने की पावर होती, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो ऑन, इनविजिबिलिटी की पावर होती. सो द रियलिटी इज यू हैव ऑल दिस पावर्स विद इन यू, and the unfoldment of this powers is part of your spiritual journey. ये आपके अंदर डेवलप होना ही है. It is a guarantee as long as you continue to tread the path. Okay, now the last point, to contemplate. These are like seed ideas for you to think. The reason we think of ourselves as too small is because we are looking at the seed, but can you look at the hidden tree in it? Think about this point. कई बार हम सोचते हैं, यार हम इस पूरे यूनिवर्स में कितने छोटे हैं, कितने छोटे से इंसान हैं, एंड देन हमारी क्या हैसियत है. समटाइम वी थिंक नॉट जस्ट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव मटेरियली, हम सोचते हैं दैट पर्सन इज अ रिच गाय, ही हैज सो मेनी प्रॉपर्टीज, दिस दैट, मैं क्या हूं. बट द डे यू विल रियलाइज, even have a glimpse of who you are, that day your self-esteem will boost. And one of the objectives of this program is also to boost your self-esteem about yourself. आप अपने आप को इतना छोटा सोचते हैं, हम सब जनरली, आई मीन कई लोगों में होता है प्राइड, दे हैव ईगो, they think of that themselves as too big, too perfect. But general problem with the masses is we think of ourselves as too small, too invaluable, or too, sometimes आपने देखा होगा, like how to explain this, I mean, this is a very pitiful situation, but sometimes human trafficking होती है. Have you seen human trafficking? Heard of? जहाँ इंसानों को हजारों रुपयों के लिए बेचा जाता है. And that is happening because of the lack of the appreciation of who we are as human beings. So one of this objective of this study is to make you understand, the power of which resides within you. हमारे अंदर में कितनी ग्रेट पावर्स है, हमारे अंदर में क्या पोटेंशियलिटीज है. इसलिए ये स्टडी ग्रुप सबके लिए है. इट इज ओपन टू पब्लिक. आई हैव नॉट रिस्ट्रिक्टेड कि ये एक पर्टिकुलर क्लास ऑफ पीपल के लिए है. एंड इफ यू थिंक दैट जैसे जैसे आप इसमें जर्नी करेंगे इट इज बेनिफिशियल, आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू एड एज मेनी पीपल टू द ग्रुप एज पॉसिबल, बिकॉज this study group is about knowing yourself, understanding, demystifying many mysteries जो आपके लाइफ के अराउंड घूम रही है. सो ये जो लास्ट पॉइंट है, इस पे आप एक बार कंटेम्पलेट करके देखिए, सोचिए. कभी आपने किसी बड़े से बड़े झाड़ के बारे में सोचिए? लेट्स टॉक अब लेट्स पाइन ट्री देखा है आपने? पाइन, कई बार कई सारे पाइन ट्रीज जो होते हैं दे आर ह्यूज, सुपर सुपर बिग, मे बी 50, 60, 70 फीट टॉल एंड जाइंट. सो पाइन ट्री में पाइन कोन होता है, इसका जो सीड होता है या फ्रूट होता है. हैव यू सीन पाइन कोन? और मे बी अ बिग banyan tree? Anyone? If I want you to compare the seed to the tree, what will you say? Are you with me? If I ask you to compare the seed, the pine cone seed, or the mango seed is still big. But if I say pine cone seed or banyan tree seed, if you compare it to the tree, what will you say? The seed is too small. It seems very insignificant, no? It seems very tiny. But if you practice awareness and contemplate on this point, you will realize the whole tree is inside that one seed. It holds the potential to become a giant, giant tree which can live for hundreds of years. True or not true? Are you with me? What do you understand from this? It means you are the cosmic seed of pine cone tree, just an example, which is capable of becoming a cosmic tree of life, which will become a universe in itself. Let me explain to you in other other perspective before we move ahead of this. Maybe let me just stop the PPT here because it's almost an hour of our discussion, and we want to keep the session short. Because we will be having this session every maybe this week we will continue for almost every day in the next 4 or 5 days. But from the second week, the study group will be limited only to Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will have this study group for 1 hour. But because this is the beginning, I don't want to break the cycle. We will have one session tomorrow and Monday, and then till yeah, Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The first week program will be free of charge because I want as many people to experience this subject or discussion. उसके बाद में अगर आपको लगता है you want to continue, then you can pay and continue. Because my goal is first to help a lot of people demystify a lot of problems जो उनके life में है because they think that death is the end of their life. So I was discussing about the point. इस point पे आज meditate करिए before we conclude the session, that you are, maybe just close your eyes for a moment. Just close your eyes. Let's meditate on this point. You, the soul, when I say the soul, with all your bodies, जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया, जिसके साथ शरीर है, you, the soul, you are a cosmic seed. आप एक cosmic बीज हैं जिसमें पोटेंशियल है पूरा एक ब्रह्मांड रचने की या बनने की. ये थियरी या हाइपोथेसिस नहीं है, इट्स अ रियलिटी. क्या, दूसरा सवाल मेरा ये है जिस पे आप कंटेम्पलेट करिए आंखें बंद करके, क्या एक दिन में पाइन कोन का ट्री पाइन ट्री बन जाता है फुली ग्रोन? It takes maybe 20, 30, 40 years for it to become fully grown. But after that, when it becomes fully grown, it can stay for maybe 2, 3, 400 years. True or not true? But it takes time and patience for that small seed to open all its potential. So similarly, life after life, We incarnate, we take birth to continue our journey towards this inner unfoldment of our potentials. Life after life, when I say, doesn't mean just physical life. आने वाली sessions में we will discuss that your learning, your evolution does not stop after death. Death does not take anything from you. You have everything, and you continue to grow, you continue to learn, you continue to become much, much bigger in terms of your inner space. Now, one last thing made to meditate upon before we conclude today's session. From a human being, listen carefully, from human being, your destiny is to become a superhuman being. From a superhuman being, your destiny is to become a deva, great, great deva. From becoming a deva, your next destiny is to become a planetary god. Now imagine yourself expanding in this space. Imagine that you are a owner of a planet. Continue to meditate on this word. From a planetary god, your next destiny is to become a solar god. That is the next unfoldment, the next expansion. From a solar god, your next destiny is to become a cosmic or a galactic god. Maybe you become in charge of a whole galaxy. That is the next unfoldment. Imagine the same seed which we are talking about, this little human being, that is the goal, that is the journey. Then this galactic god, the next journey or the next unfoldment is to become a universal being or a universal god. But the journey doesn't end there. Then you become in charge of several galaxies. Then you become in charge of the whole universe. Then you become in charge of multiple universes. And after that, I mean, I do not have information beyond that, but there must be something beyond that, because हम लोग universe के edge तक भी नहीं पहुंचे. Forget about becoming a universal God yourself. So, can you sense the potential of your growth and development as a human being? Is your consciousness expanding? By thinking this, you no longer think of yourself as a small person. Do not underestimate what you have within you. Just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean it does not exist. The moment you can see the inner universe within you, you will manifest it. And that is why you are existing. Now, one last thing. You and me, we are all, when we say we are all children of God, we come with the destiny same as God. So God has a destiny to live in all its glory and reign on his universe. So we are. So we are the creators of the future universe. We are the rulers of the future universes. It's plural, future universes. And nobody can stop you from doing that. Whether you yourself are stopping now, the moment you will realize this fact, that you are on an eternal journey to become a cosmic ruler, your life will change. You will no longer look at yourself with disrespect or anybody else with disrespect. You will start to respect every human being. Now, to add more complexity to this meditation we are doing, every insect, every atom which exists will one day become a human. I repeat, every insect, every atom in this universe will become a human being one day, human soul, and then will become a cosmos, will become another universe. Can you handle that? Now just practice stillness for a few moments. Feel the expanded state of consciousness within you. ये जो ट्रुथ आपने सुना है, जब भी कोई चीज, कोई सच बोला जाता है, कॉन्शियसनेस एक्सपैंड होती है. One of the purposes of this study group is to help you restore your self-respect and also learn to respect others around you, including not just humans, but every being. Developing universal brotherhood and sisterhood. Accepting every being, every person with the same love and respect as you do it to somebody who is more powerful than you, more resourceful than you. Every human being is God, potential. Be still, be aware. Imagine you're surrounded by universes, walking, breathing, living, who are in the process of growing and becoming future universes. Currently, they are walking seeds. Can you imagine the potentiality, the greatness we live in, we call this world? Let's give thanks to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, to all the great teachers, saints, avatars, prophets, messiahs. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for your guidance, help, and protection. We thank you for your mercy, compassion. We thank you for humility. We thank you for these inner realizations. With thanks and in full faith. Thank you.